What's up, everybody? Once again, we are back with Ghosted, a paranormal podcast. I'm your host, Jake Thomas, and with me, my excellent and fantastic co-host, Colton Spinks. Not only is he a great co-host, but he's also my best friend. Colton, how you doing tonight, man?
I'm doing good, Jake. What about yourself?
Man, I'm doing great. It's been a fun week. Been a good week at work. It's always great on a Thursday night. We get to talk about what we're going to talk about and plan throughout the week. That's always fun to do. But other than that, man, it's been a great week, and man, I'm excited about tonight. We got a good show for everybody.
Oh yeah, me too. This is a topic that's trending right now, I guess you'd say.
Yeah, this topic's been in the news ever since they released UAPs, as they call them, unidentified aerial phenomenon. And that's happened what in 2020 or 2021, something like that, when the government started releasing some of these videos and the U.S. military, and then it's just been more documented cases that's come out and people's had seen them, and then all of a sudden we've had not only just people seeing them, but we've had the Las Vegas incident. We've also had the Miami Mall incident. So these things have become mainstream in the last several months. And what we're talking about is the UFOs, aliens. They're all kind of, I think, can be bunched in together as one big topic. And of course, we'll probably finish up on who we think the men in black really are. That's going to be very interesting. But Colton, what can you tell us about these UFOs, and what do you think they are? Do you think they're these beings from outer space, or do you think there's something more sinister to them?
Well, that's a loaded question. So, yeah, I can remember my memory of when this topic started getting to where it is in mainstream. I was at the gym, and like you said, Jake, I can't remember 2020, before that, a little bit after that, I'm not sure, but it was Fox News playing on that TV at the gym, and they had the FLIR image of a craft from the military, and they was like, "Well, what is this? The military's got this craft on camera, this and that." And me and some other people at the gym was like, "What the heck?" They're talking about UFOs on the news. It was a kind of a
Right.
first for the public, and from there it only got more prevalent. Uh, People started talking. Tucker Carlson on Fox News at the time was really talking about it. You know, uh, it was mainstream, and
Mm-hmm.
well, when the military says, "Yeah, these things are in our airspace and we have video of them," they're going into the ocean, coming out of the ocean. There's no there's no heat coming from these things like a combustion engine. So the propulsion system is not something that we're aware of, and they fly at speeds that are unimaginable, far faster than anything they have. That's what they claim. And it's like, well, what now? They say we don't know what it is. Me and Jake say we're not buying it. Yeah, you do know what they are. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
not the guys telling us, but they know what they are. Believe me, the government knows, the high military, the black budget military people, CIA, whatever you want to say, they definitely know what they are. So we're kind of getting into, you know, what they might be, some theories, what I think they could be. Uh, just look at the facts here. We got something that is behaving like a paranormal entity.
Right.
The twist, though, it's a vehicle. It's not a ghost. It's not a demon in the corner of the house. It's something flying through the air, but they disappear, and that's the catch. They disappear. Where do they go? We've theorized they hit portals.
Mm-hmm.
We've theorized they can have a cloaking ability to turn somewhat invisible, or just straight up dematerialize. That's some of the possibilities. Uh, two possibilities, in the paranormal world. A Bigfoot or a demon, a ghost, they can dematerialize, but people theorize they can also hit portals, come out of portals, but also just dematerialize, disappear. But they're still there, but they go out of that, perception, our ability to see them. So that's a paranormal aspect to this UFO case right here. They show up at nuclear, uh, they're testing bombs, nuclear sites. They often visit them, which is strange. Just countless strange stuff. I could go on all day, but I say that the government definitely knows what they are. I'll go ahead and say this, but I believe, and many people do, the government has the craft and they are flying around in the craft. So now we have a mixture of the originals with something inside, and then the ones that have been built, reverse engineered from that original craft. And now, I say government. When I say government, I mean it's a broad term. Anybody high up like that, Jake, how it is. Could be CIA or different things.
We already know our government's corrupt too, and they'll hide stuff from
Yeah,
us. So there you go.
right. So it's just some things to think about. You listen to Bob Lazar's story. If you haven't heard it, you should listen to it. A guy, very smart, was brought into Area 51 to reverse engineer the propulsion system of this craft. And he's like a whistleblower. And he said it was an archaeological find. So humans got this craft from somewhere. Now they have it and they make them. That's the theory. A lot of whistleblowers involved in that. A lot to think about. But yeah, Jake, that's just kind of the start of it. I guess get into what I think they are. The original theory was that they are aliens,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what we still call them, even if we don't believe that. Alien, as in from another planet, traveled countless miles, countless distance to get to Earth because they're so advanced and smarter than us. They've come here to visit for some reason.
So you ain't gonna find no intelligent life forms in our government here.
No, it's pretty dull here on Earth, but there's no evidence for that.
Right.
There's none. There's no evidence. There's more UFO sightings, as far as I know, in our atmosphere, and not countless UFOs being seen entering Earth's atmosphere. Would that not be, you see all these craft coming in from space? Do you not think that would raise some eyebrows? Because I
Right.
don't think it's happening. I think they are here and they've always been here. And they may be interdimensional. That statement in itself, like, what does that even mean, interdimensional? It's complicated. But I think they are on Earth, and this is where they were, and this is where they are going to stay. What's in that craft? People often say gray aliens as
Right.
the physical thing, the physical appearance being like a 3 foot tall classic alien, gray in color, but also variants of that. Some tall and some short ones. Uh, I think they're demonic. That's
Right.
exactly what I think. I think it's a spiritual thing. And I saw a video of somebody saying this. It was Tucker Carlson. I keep saying him because he is very involved in this topic. And he said, well, I quit pursuing this topic. I think, he said in a roundabout way, I think this is spiritual. And that's why they won't disclose it. Not because of the technology, because they have it, right? But because it's spiritual, and they're not going to admit that it's a spiritual aspect. They just won't admit it, probably because the world's run by Satan, and that's part of his crew. I would imagine. That's just what I think. I think they are not just paranormal, but demonic. This is what I believe. I don't know, you know. What do
Yeah.
you think, Jake? Would you agree? I mean, the possibilities of other things, of course, are still out there,
Right.
but
It's,
it's kind of
you
like
know,
you want to pick a side, right? So this is the side I
yeah.
pick. I'm based off
Right.
evidence.
You got to pick. It seems like you got to pick sides when it comes to paranormal. And on this one, you've got to land somewhere, and where to land is the gray area. Because we've been told all these years that these are indeed, like you said, 3-foot aliens, and they're coming from not from our atmosphere. They're coming from somewhere in the galaxy, and they have these crafts. Not only do they have these, spherical crafts like the circle round crafts that you see most. Oh, and they have these triangular ones, and I mean, there's like a long cigar one people talk about seeing. All that could be military, no doubt about it. So and we talked about how we've been lied to and deceived before. So what keeps them from lying and deceiving us about this? I mean, and I have no doubt in my mind that there's something. We've talked about this, Colton, and I've been a big component about this, since I've grown up and started researching and doing this type of research stuff. But there's something in Area 51 that they are trying to keep so secret that they will shoot their own people on sight if you just barely step over the line there. So it's probably one of these crafts, like you said, Colton. So I mean, we have it. I agree with that 100%. And we probably got some of our own government people flying around in these crafts. And that's why they try to keep it on the down low, I feel like.
Yeah, probably so. And it is weird that these things come in various shapes and sizes.
Yeah.
Just like you said, the three main ones being,
Mhm.
I mean, the saucer, the
Yep.
triangle, and the cigar. Something's going on with the triangle. I'll tell you right now. The pyramid, the triangle, it's weird. It keeps showing up.
It does.
It keeps
It does.
showing up in
Mhm.
different forms. I ain't even going to guess because I don't know what that
Right.
means,
I
how that
know.
works. But maybe one day we'll figure that out. And Area 51, people call them domes, deep underground military bases, which you have to have a very, very high clearance to enter.
Right.
And one person was saying, I guess you could call him a whistleblower. He's like, Area 51, that's old news. You got more. You got far
Oh yeah.
more that are far more secretive. That the clearance that you have to get there will not get you into these other ones. So imagine that. Imagine 10 more Area 51s, each one more secretive than the last,
Right.
more hard to access. What's in there? I mean, I don't know. You hear people say stuff. Are they telling the truth? Who knows? There's no telling. There was one person that said that they had meetings in these things with the Nephilim,
Yeah.
and that they had to sign a disclosure. Somebody else coming in that they would not mention the name Jesus Christ in the presence of these Nephilim.
Oh
Of
really?
course, we know why. Of course, I thought that was a crazy story. Is it true? No clue. You can never verify it, ever. But it's something cool to think about. A guy did say this seriously. Uh, so that they're having meetings with the demonic in these military bases, working with them, probably manufacturing craft. Probably it's a base for the demonic as well as the government, whatever officials. That's just a guess. I don't know, but they're so far underground, and you got these not trains, but whatever you call them that go in the ground like miles and miles, like endless miles underground. How secretive does it have to be? Like who knows?
Yeah, we're kind of fixing to get off a little bit in left field here, but you brought up these, you know, tunnels, I should say, and these underground dunes. There is a theory out there that there is a utopian city in the center of the earth called Agatha. So maybe perhaps whatever we're talking to is living deep in in our core and maybe they have the technology in these flying saucers that, and we're going down there to study and learn all about this. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. It's a theory and been a theory for a long time now. So, but it is kind of interesting that you see a lot of video of these saucers going into like volcanoes. You see them going into the ocean. Now, we know how hot a volcano is. Any craft that we have today would melt before you could even get to the bottom of one. I don't know if they're going fully into the volcano, but just getting that close is very impressive. And then going into the water makes a lot of people think there's underground water bases and stuff for these quote aliens.
Yeah, this topic, if you really study it and immerse yourself in it, seriously, it'll drive you crazy.
It will.
Absolutely insane. We're sitting there talking about it. We don't have the answers. We're just going over what we've discovered, the facts and the theories and what we believe. But man, will it drive you crazy? There's a book I haven't read it. I'm really bad at reading. I can read, but I'm bad about finishing a book. I have stacks of them. Half of them are halfway read. But this book is about the connection between UFOs and Bigfoot in Pennsylvania. And there was a direct correlation of them working together. That's all I know because I ain't read the book. But yeah, that's just a thought, right? I mean,
Right.
like this stuff can be connected greatly, possibly, if they're all working for the other team. That could be it. And we're talking about something again that you wonder, where is the line between physical and spiritual? You got these craft. It's metal or something.
Right.
And there's spiritual aspects to it. How is that? How is there a spiritual and physical? In your mind, you want to draw, you don't want it to be black and white. You want to have the ghost and you want to have the physical world. But it gets gray. It gets gray and it's hard to know. Stuff becomes perfectly physical and then dematerializes. It goes beyond what we originally thought. So knowing this, I think it just works a little different than what I believed, at least at first. So makes things harder to figure out if the spiritual can turn physical so easy, not the other way around. But yeah, it's a big topic.
Yeah. And I'm fixing to throw one more wrench in there, Colton, to finish up. When you hear documented sightings and reports of these UFOs, within hours, there is two people dressed in black, like suit and ties and dark shades, riding around in a dark vehicle, tinted, dark as dark can be. And they claim to be, they're things of Men in Black. So, we've talked about this, and I mentioned a little bit last week, just a little preview, but I don't think the Men in Black are actually human. They're in human form, but they're actually something more sinister, more demonic, I feel like, because it is very interesting how as soon as one of these things happened, they know where it happened at, who saw it. They go to your family and pretty much, submit you and have you on your knees and say, we're going to do this. You'll never see your family again if you talk about this, pretty much. But it's very sinister on how they do things. So I don't think it's really human. What do you think?
Yeah, I know there's people that claim that they're not human just because we're people. I think we can recognize a fellow human, right? And there was something off there with that encounter. But the Men in Black are proof that UFOs, whatever this is going on, they're not perfect. They screw up, they slip up, and they cause a mess. They get sighted by somebody that's not supposed to see. They crash. A being from that craft gets seen, and the Men in Black are there to clean that up.
Yeah.
like you said, threaten whoever saw that, and they may not be human. They may be just demonic. They may be all working for the same side, the opposite of ours. Then again, it could be the CIA.
Could
Uh,
be.
could be the CIA. I don't know. If you see somebody in you see a UFO and you see a unmarked SUV, men in black coming to your house, just start shooting. That's what I would say. No, I'm just kidding, because it could be some Mormons coming to your house, some Jehovah's Witness. So don't do
Woo!
that. Don't do
No,
that. But
but question them. Don't
yeah,
let them get the upper hand. Question them for sure.
yeah, and you might disappear. So we tried to tell you. So just do whatever. Do something
Right.
unpredictable. But yeah, uh, and another thing with UFOs, I wanted to mention, the UFO stands for unidentified flying object. And when stuff started getting serious, mainstream, they said UAPs,
Right.
to, in my opinion, change the stigma from the UFO and make it sound more serious. Uh, UFO, people say orbs. Orb, as I'm describing, is like a basketball on fire
Yeah.
that flies through the air, reappears, disappears, whatever. People see these a lot, and that is a more spiritual, like it's in a spiritual form. I don't know what it is. That's still a UFO, right? It
Right.
flies, it's unidentified. Uh, but then people see a metallic saucer. That's a UFO as well, but it's two different appearing things. They appear different. To me, based off stories I've heard, it seems like orbs are they're a being, spiritual, could be angel, could be demon. I know I've heard demonic turning into orbs. I know that for a
Hmm.
fact. I've heard tons of stories. Angels, maybe. I'm just guessing here. But I think they can somehow turn into an orb, and it's just like pure energy, light coming off of it. That's my theory based off of many accounts that I've read. People, just a quick instance, I'll give you an example. People messing with a Ouija board,
Mm.
and I mean, they was getting a response. They was in direct conversation with something, and I believe they asked it to show itself, and outside appeared an orb flying in the air. So there you go. That's a demon, almost surely, but more often than not, people are talking about the metallic craft, cigar, triangle, saucer, whatever. Just to
Yeah.
clarify.
Yeah. 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 It's very interesting. But yeah, you brought up a good point. And I was sitting here thinking about it while you was talking, Colton. But maybe if you watch this and you live in wherever you're at in the U.S., I mean, I've told Colton I keep my eyes to the sky now. But if you do see something odd, look for a blacked out SUV, close by. Maybe maybe it is CIA and they're trailing these saucer things because it is our own people up there, and they don't want the world to find that out. So that's when they beat you down into submission and keep you on the hush hush. Perhaps that's just a theory that just come to my mind. It's like maybe it is they're following these saucers and everything, that it could be our work of our own people.
Right. And we haven't even touched on abductions. That's
Oh
a
my gosh.
it's a giant topic. So we'll not be able to fully get into that. That's a big part of this. It ties in directly. Abductions, they started to document these and follow up with psychologists and this and that. Uh, it ain't new. I mean, years and years ago, you got this old footage, black and white, of people being interviewed that's been abducted. Uh, I don't hear about it as much now. It could
I
be as
know.
common. We may not hear about it, but there was a time where it was very common.
Very.
Again, strange cattle mutilations. Again, another thing, right? We ain't gonna get to talk
Yeah.
about all this right now. But
it's part of the
people,
paranormal.
oh yeah, for sure.
Mhm.
And they were mixing spiritual and a little bit of physical, so it's crazy. People say that if you declare the name of Jesus Christ during an abduction, it'll cease immediately.
Mhm.
There's a lot of cases like that. So, I mean, if you get abducted, do that.
Yeah.
That just proves that, not proves, but points to why they're probably demons, in my opinion. Spiritual entities, at least of the demonic nature somehow. And just another little theory I'm going to throw out there, they are physical bodies that are manufactured. Probably from the cattle they mutilate, they take certain skin and blood and materials from these cattle, and also people in certain places. They call them the face peelers. They would
Yes.
mutilate people
Mhm.
in tribal areas, where they didn't have news and stuff. They mutilate people as well at times, and they create these avatar-like things, and then they are then inhabited by a demon. That gives them a vessel to control fully. So then you have a physical body with a spiritual, a spirit inside it.
Mhm.
I know that's getting way out there, but that's a theory and it holds a lot of weight. There's a lot of evidence to support that, and I'm not the only one that believes it. There are other people that talk about this openly that are experts on the topic. I mean, top people on the topic, they believe this. So I don't know. Something to think about. Something to
Yeah.
think about.
And I brought it up before, before we really got in dove into it, but there was two incidences that happened, really three, honestly, within like I think within a 6 month span. We had the Las Vegas incident where this family had supposedly had a UFO that crashed in their field, I think behind their house, and they talked about seeing some kind of figure come out of that craft, and then within hours, you quote, Men in Black showed up to their house, and you haven't heard much from it since then. Of course, you had the Peru incident where these this village was getting attacked by they claim to be like 3 foot tall aliens, and the news and the police finally got out there to this area. I guess it's really remote, and they said it was some miners up in the mountainous ranges that attacked the village, which is absolute ludicrous. Another way to just to keep this down on the down low, which that leads me to believe that something demonic was if it's attacking people. And then, of course, we had the Miami Mall incident where, I mean, it seemed like every freaking cop in the state of Florida was on that block in Miami Mall, and there's video out there of what looks like a tall figure, walking around. But there's also a now video that I cannot find anymore of a cop who, I mean, his own testimony talked about seeing something at that mall, that day. But again, somebody got a hold of him and has shut him up pretty much. So if you see something like this, eventually you're going to get shut up. And so, I feel like you got to fight back. You got to fight this because this information needs to be out there because, who knows what our corrupted government is doing with these flying saucers and crafts, if they do have the power to harness them. I mean, if they have them, we've got the guns, but we can't shoot a flying saucer out that can fly and go that speed, that fast. We can't shoot it out of the sky. So there's another way that they can control us. So I feel like if that's what they're leaning to, we're going to have to start fighting back now, and that is getting this information out into the public and talking about it because it needs to be out there.
Right. It almost seems like they're planning for something big.
Mhm.
What is that? That's some theories. Again, well, I mean,
Right.
we're unsure of time here, so another time, a lot of theories on that. Uh, yeah, just like you said, Jake, stay vigilant,
Yep.
things like that. We're seeing all this unfold before our eyes. in our lifetime, there's no telling what we're going to see. So it's some crazy stuff.
The Book of Revelations, perhaps.
Mm-hmm. Yep, it's looking like we're getting close, if not already there. I don't know. I'm just saying.
Very, very is really looking like that, honestly. And depending on how this election goes, we may be pushed a little bit closer to that time. But we'll see. But anyway, guys, thank you all for listening tonight. And I don't know if anybody's been on, but thank you all for joining. If you did, we'll be back again next week. I don't know if we're going to keep doing a live. We may do a recorded video. I'm not sure. But we got a lot of topics out there that we can talk about. I know we've done this in the past, and it just keeps coming to my mind. And I can't even think of the poor lady's name now. But it's the lady who saw whatever she saw in the plane. That lady is probably dead somewhere. Just be honest. But the one that they have propped up to be her, it's not the real her. I mean, it's you can tell the difference. So we can touch on that again. We talked about cattle mutilations. Those are very interesting, Colton, because a lot of these cases, it's just like they're drained of blood, and it's just like two little like little small like almost like tubes, just like drain the blood out, and nothing else. It seems like has been taken. There's a lot of cases like that, and then there's some that you said organs have been taken out of. So who knows about these cattle mutilations, abductions, and we talk about that. I mean, there's so much out there. We've talked about the dog man on the podcast side of things. On the recorded side, we haven't talked about it here. So there's a lot out there we can touch on. But great show tonight, man. It was really fun.
Oh yeah, it was great, and yeah, this is a huge topic, and like you said, so many other things spur off the alien UFO topic. So yeah, more to come for sure.
No, absolutely. There's plenty out there, and the paranormal world, like I said, it's vast. It's one end of the spectrum to the other, and we're just now scratching the surface real good. So we'll be back for more next week. Thank you all for listening. Colton, you got anything else you want to say before we get off here?
No, we covered it pretty well, I believe.
Yeah, you're right, buddy. You're right. So thank you for being on tonight, Colton. As a blast as always. This has been Ghosted, a paranormal podcast with your host, Jake Thomas, Colton Spinks. We'll be live maybe next week. Might do a recording. We'll see how it plays out. But we'll be back regardless next Thursday night. So keep an eye out for the live or for a recording shortly after. But thank you all for joining, and we'll see you next time. Y'all have a great evening, great weekend, and we'll see you on the next one.